Ladies and gentlemen, Arun has joined the chat here. Arun, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
And for everybody out there, we're doing well. I'm doing well. Tyler, are you doing all right?
I'm doing all right. Did you not want to try and pronounce his last name, Billy? Is that why you just went with the first name?
No, that's actually what I was going to say. I was like, just to keep everybody on the same page, can you tell us the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Yeah. So the way I always describe it to people is a silent J. So Basuljevic. So just don't say the J, and it kind of just like rolls off your tongue, you know.
Basuljevic. Yep.
There it is. There it is.
Love
Perfect.
it.
What about
There we go.
Say that again.
Basuljevic? I think you said that sometimes you say that too.
Yeah, you could say. It really depends. Like people from like where my dad's from in the Balkans, they really like exaggerate the accent and they say Basuljevic sometimes, but for me I would just say silent J, Basuljevic. Easier.
Or just Arun, like you changed in the back of your jersey last year, Arun, so
Yeah, and honestly that was part of the reason I did that, just because of, you know, every time there would be like I would hear them announcing lineups and stuff, and they struggle with the first name. I always get Arun and then forget about it. The last name, if they can't get the first name, the last name is just, there's no chance. So I try to make it easier for you guys, and I think I'm gonna go back though to my last name, a little bit superstition. So we'll see.
Oh, man, okay.
Love to see it. That makes sure Ian gets his money's worth out of him, so he can. That 4 letters is way too easy on him.
That's a lot of money though, Arun. All those jerseys, all those letters, man. Here.
I know. Take it out of the paycheck.
Well, how's the
good.
offseason treating you, Arun?
Say that one more time, Tyler.
How's the offseason been treating you?
Oh, it's been great, man. I've enjoyed it. But in full transparency, I can't wait to get back to OKC. I was speaking with Patty just the other day about figuring out if I could come back even earlier. But just kind of the way it's set up right now is most guys are getting in the same type of window, like the first couple days of February, and just with team policy and the way they're doing it. I live with Zach, so me and Zach are going to be coming in on the same day. So I believe it's February 3rd. So a little less than 2 weeks, but I'm ready to get back for sure.
Nice. What have you been doing since we last saw you?
A lot. Yeah. So it's felt like a long time, but it's gone quick, if that makes sense. But for me, once I got home, it was a culture shock, mostly because it's freezing here. I feel like every off season I come home, it's freezing. So like I needed to find a place to be able to train. Whereas in OKC, like we had the pitches, we had OAC, and that was really nice because I was in Oklahoma probably a month until after the season ended. So when I got here, I just tried to get into the routine. New York's pretty closed down, I would say. So like even finding a gym that was open to what, you know, our program and our weight resistance plan from Lee, what that required, it was a little bit of a process to find that. But I found it, and I was able to get a membership, and now I've been able to train with some guys who are local pros in the area. So I've made it work, and I've got a good routine. And yeah, like I said, I'm really ready to get back.
Yeah, that sounds similar to what Zach was going through as well. You know, being up in Ontario and being cold up there as well. I think he had a little bit more luck than you finding spots, but it seems like you guys are in similar circumstances. Now, your parents still live in the Bronx, or are they in a different borough?
So we're a little bit more north now in Westchester County. So it's actually worse down in the Bronx, which is about 30 minutes south of us now. It's worse than the 5 boroughs. When I came home from Oklahoma, one of the first things I wanted to do was go to like one of my favorite diners in Queens. And we walked in and it was completely empty. And I was like, oh, wow, I completely forgot indoor dining is shut. Whereas in Oklahoma, everything is, you know, at your own discretion, be safe. Yeah. And so that was very, very different. And then once you get out of the 5 boroughs, it's kind of like there's curfews and things like that, but places are open. So yeah, I've made it, but it's definitely, it's like 2 different worlds with Oklahoma and New York for sure.
Yeah, you could have resorted to the old Rocky Balboa training method, you know, doing pull-ups in your doorway. And
Seriously.
I'm sure
man,
somebody has a
seriously.
chicken or a rooster around there somewhere you can chase around.
Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, it was actually funny because when I left Oklahoma, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys remember, it was the ice storm. Like that was
Yeah.
like, I left like a week after that, and that was probably the craziest weather experience I've ever had in my life. So yeah, it's just been crazy. The 2020 has been crazy. 2021's been a little bit better, and hopefully it'll be good at the end of it.
That's what we're hoping for.
Exactly.
Don't want to dwell too much on last year. It was probably not a season that you're gonna, remember as being your greatest. And as a team, we had higher expectations. But kind of talk us through last year and what happened, and then look forward to 2021 and what you're hoping to accomplish this year.
Yeah, last year, like you said, we don't need to harp on it. Before I even talk about the team, it was kind of I said this to JP and Lee and pretty much all of the staff. Before I shared my thoughts on the team, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what, for what I can do and the player that I know I am, I didn't show a sliver of what I'm capable of, and that fuels me going into 2021 on an individual level. And then as a team, like, there was so much that happens that people don't really see. And it was difficult, and every team can say that, so it's not an excuse. But the reality is it's behind us now. It doesn't do us any good to look back at it. But for the guys who are returning, we just need to use it as fuel and to remember what it felt like to each and every week being frustrated, feeling like maybe we're progressing and then taking 2 steps back, or, just having something frustrating happen. And it was just that type of year. And now the great thing about this is the guys are coming back. We have another chance to make it right. So that's the way we're looking at it. It's all positivity, and we're going into it with we can be a very, very good team in this league, and we hope to surprise a lot of people this year.
That'll be great. Now, good segue there, Arun. You actually have a job in broadcasting possibly after this, but that's a great segue into talking about next year. Obviously, still a lot to be discovered from a league standpoint. We did here recently. Looks like we'll be starting late April, early May, so that's good news to at least have that little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. But I mean, as we're looking to it, what are your personal goals, and then your goals with the team as well?
Yeah. So personally, I wanna improve. I think if I'm playing my best, I think I can be one of the better midfielders in this league, and my goal is to show that. My goal is to show that individual level. I want to win. We push each other. We're here to win. We're here to do a job, and we're here to represent the club in the best way possible. So, everybody's bought in. We understand that we're very, very lucky to be able to do what we do, especially in the world we live in today, as a job. And, now it's time to really repay the faith that the club has shown in us, repay it on the pitch, for the fans, for you guys, for really everybody, and as a team, I think if we're just talking broadly right now, our number one goal has to be to make the playoffs. So that one is for sure is going to be a team goal. And number 2, another one is winning the rivalry with Tulsa. And I think that's going to be winning that wrench back. That was like kind of like last year was the first like real rivalry that I've been a part of, and you felt it. And winning that wrench back is going to be important for us. So if we're just talking broadly, right, it's January 2021. Those are probably 2 main goals I think that we could all agree that are going to be important this year.
That's great. Thank you very much. That'll mean a lot to our fans, I know, for sure, especially the wrench part, because that was a tough blow. And I know you guys seeing the guys in the locker room afterwards was heartbreaking, but also encouraging to see, you guys took it seriously. It wasn't just another game to you. And I think that speaks volumes to the character that you guys had and the kind of season that you built upon. Because honestly, you could see progress all year. So that was amazing to see. And I think you guys really wanted that one bad.
For sure. No, for sure.
Just want to say, you've got some familiar faces. You had a few last year. But a few more will be coming into the fold. Number one, Seth Moses will be there, which Jaime talked about a little bit. And I'm pretty sure you probably have about the same kind of critique of him.
Yeah.
Is Seth Moses a guy that you want to play against as a number 10?
Absolutely not. No, definitely not. No. He's definitely a guy that's the best way to describe him, honestly. He's a guy you would hate to play against, but he's a guy you love to have on your team. And I had obviously Jaime was a forward, and when we played together in Fresno, there were multiple games where me and Seth would play together in the midfield, even as like in a 4-4-2 or something like that. And for me, somebody who is more inclined to try to do more on the offensive end, having a guy like him to just do, the quote unquote dirty work and to hit people and to tackle is huge. And anybody who knows football or soccer, for anybody who knows the game, like that position for me is so important. So he does it really, really well. And he's my boy. He's we're really close, and I'm really excited to have him on the team. Really, really excited.
And then there's also another guy we haven't announced yet, but by the time this airs, I think we will have Hiroki is going to be joining us as well. So a guy that is you play with the Fresno. He did well at College Springs last year. Talk about Hiroki a little bit. What can we expect to see out of him?
I call him the Japanese Busquets. So that's the way I look at him. He's so good on the ball, such a good passer, has a good engine, and honestly, maybe most importantly, is like the nicest human being I've ever met in my life. So, I knew about that just because, again, we all keep in touch and we talk, and there's a few other guys who I know who are signed, who haven't been announced, and great players as well. So I'm just excited. I don't know if you guys can tell. I think the staff has done a great job of bringing in the right people, and I'm just excited to get going. So Hiroki and Seth are two big ones, though, for sure. Two huge additions.
Yeah, it sounds like they're both guys that do a lot of work and put a real shift in. And JP keeps talking about wanting a hungry team. Obviously you feel the same way. Is that kind of just the cultural mindset of the team, is to get out there and just grind every day and get results?
Absolutely. I think that's got to be like the bare needs to be just be 2 or 3 days out of the week. Like, that needs every single day. And then most importantly, come the weekend, come games, like we're stepping on that field. I don't care where we are, if we're away in Phoenix or San Diego, wherever, we're going on that field to win. We're not going for ties. Like, we want to step on the field and be the team that puts the game on our terms. And I think that's a mentality. I think that's something that you can train as much as you want, but you need to have guys who have that mentality. And if you have 11 guys or 18, 20 guys pulling in that same direction, like, you can really punch above your weight and do good things. And we did that at Fresno. I don't know if you guys remember. We were a team that kind of went under the radar a little bit. But we were one of the best, if not the best teams in the league that year, and we showed it. So the mentality thing is huge. And I think JP is spot on.
That's great. So what is it you're looking forward to most of getting back in Oklahoma City?
Oh, that's a good question. Just being with the guys, I would say. I miss the day-to-day, the banter, the training. I miss the facility. Those things you can't replicate at all. And I would imagine that all my teammates would probably say similar things. So that's probably the biggest one, getting back into the grind and the routine of things. And then as a city, I love Oklahoma City. Hall's Pizza, that's a place I can't wait to go to again. So there's a bunch of stuff.
You should work on Patty getting them to be a sponsor of the team. I think that would be a great get.
That would be huge. Maybe not like in the later ends, maybe like earlier in the week or something, like after a really hard day. Like, it's carbs, pizza. Why not?
Oh, exactly. Now, are you coming from New York and coming from the Bronx, obviously you're going to be a New York style pizza fan. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, it's got to be. I'll tell you what though. Hall's is, for me, the best in Oklahoma City. And it would be a great pie. Well, we call it pie. Great slice or pie in New York, even if people didn't know. So it's very, very good.
You gotta go a little north. If there's a very good New York pizza place in Norman down by campus,
Oh,
It's just
really?
called New York
Okay.
pizza. Yeah, it's called New York pizza, and it's just, I think it's as authentic as you can get. Big,
Oh,
greasy,
perfect.
just giant slice of pie, and you can't go wrong with it. So,
There's no Sbarro. Sbarro's where it's at, Billy. Everyone knows that.
yeah,
That's funny you say
that's my favorite
Sbarro.
local New York
Yes.
pizza place, Sparrow.
Hey, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Sbarro.
That's amazing. Well, Arun, definitely thank you for joining us. We're excited to get you back here in the city. I know you're ready to get going. But I think I speak for all of Energy FC and Energy FC fans when we can't wait for 2021 to begin, just so we can get that taste of last year out of our mouth and go forward. But just wanted to see, do you have any other last kind of statements you'd like to throw out to fans, just like you're speaking directly to them?
Oh, put me on the spot. All I can say is that just like you guys are super ready and can't wait, we're exactly the same. And I can't speak on everybody, but what I do know is that from the staff down, we expect that it will be much, much better this year. So it comes down to taking it week by week, day by day, and come May or early May or end of April, whenever it is, all I can say is we'll be ready.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Energy FC number 10, Arun Basuljevic. Arun, thank you so much again for joining us, and be safe up there in New York, and be safe getting down here to Oklahoma City, buddy.
Sounds good, guys. We'll see you soon, all right?
Later,
Hey, brother.